Folks, I'll tell you what, do you feel secure? In our world today, there's a lot of insecurity going around. You can see it in the headlines. And I am here with my good friend Mark. And Mark is, I remember us chatting about this book a,
Mhm.
a, a while ago, and it feels like it's sudden, but I know you've been working hard on this. So, Mark, tell us first of all, who you are, what you do, and why this book.
Yeah, Carrie, thanks so much for blessing me with this invitation.
Oh, yeah.
So, I have been in financial services for 33 years.
Mm.
Real quickly, I'm married 33 years. I have 9 children. We adopted 3 siblings from Ethiopia about 16 years ago. A lot of folks wonder with 9 kids how many times I've been married.
That's the
But it's
truth.
only been once.
Wow. Wow.
And
Yeah.
we live on a little 10-acre hobby farm outside Dayton and Waynesville, Ohio, have miniature donkeys, chickens, cows, all that kind of thing.
That is cool. Well, I
Yeah.
remember I remember us, doing lunch at Cedarville, and you brought these amazing, marketing materials that really explained so much about your company. I shared it with my team. I said, "This guy has it going on." I tell people all the time, clarity attracts, confusion repels. And I could
Mhm.
tell very quickly that you had put a lot of thinking into your marketing, into how you serve your clients. But tell us a little bit about the Secure Future Advisor, because I mean that is some hot intellectual property right there. And I just tell us a little bit about that concept.
Yeah, thank you. I've been in financial services 33 years ago, and
Mm,
I went independent about 20 years ago. And I started asking clients, why do you work with us?
wow.
And they started this theme that they wanted a more secure future. So we changed the name of the company to the Secure Future Advisors.
I love it.
And our whole mission is to help pre-retirees, retirees, small business owners to have a more secure future
Mm.
personally, professionally, financially, and spiritually.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
good.
pulling all those pieces together.
Listen, very few people blend it together. I mean, yeah, I almost hear like a holistic approach, which a lot of doctors could do that
Mhm.
better, or some that are doing well are thinking that way. In other words, we think of the body, we're not just looking at one little body part because we are holistic. And I hear you saying the same thing, like you're looking at the whole game. Is that kind of how this is done?
Yes, and what you're seeing there on the screen on our website are lots of unique processes that
Mm,
have been developed depending on what side of the mountain you're on. Now, the book is about the downside of the mountain, and
sure.
we want to provide leadership, and we want to look at stewardship, and we're interested in genuine forever long-term relationships. We want to be a partner that people can depend on. Frankly, a lot of
Mm,
advisors in our business are just focused on a transaction.
yep.
They're not interested in working with people for decades because frankly, that's people ask me all the time, how do you get paid? I go, well, the profit's in the relationship.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And you use this mountain analogy, and maybe that's, I think, even the cover, but I've heard a statistic that most fatalities in mountain climbing are not on the ascent, but the descent. Maybe I even heard that from you. Is that kind of what you're talking about? Like, it's not just, hey, wealth accumulation, but once you've kind of reached the summit of your potential economically, it's what's going to happen after. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Exactly. In your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe in the beginning of your 60s, it is hard to have fun, pay the bills, go on vacation, raise kids, save for college, and save enough money that may need to last you for decades. And that
Mm,
is the accumulation side. Now, I've never climbed Mount Rainier, or I've never climbed a huge mountain.
Sure.
But what a lot of those very sharp people don't
Mm.
realize is the decumulation or the distribution decades
Yeah.
have a whole different set of risks.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you don't even know what the risks are, how do you know the solutions and the strategies? And you're right, 80% of the deaths and accidents for the mountain climbers are on the way down. There's bodies littered and frozen in the snow and the ice,
Wow.
unfortunately, because the descent is much more treacherous.
I'll share that from personal experience. 11 months ago, I cycled up Pikes Peak, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I was going so slow on the way up, right? That even if I would have fallen, I'm going like so slow. I mean, you're going like, you know, but you get up to the top, the brain just is like, we achieved the goal, you know, and you can go fast down that hill. And I could see how easily you miss a turn, boom, you're off the mountain. And I feel like economically, that's the same mindset. People think the growth for my wealth is so slow.
Mhm.
You can't even see it sometimes in certain markets. But then, yeah, I could see how you get to the top, and it's like we paid for the wedding, we paid for the college, we paid for,
Mhm.
and then the brain just kind of like stops thinking. How does your book bring up those quote, guardrails or cautions that kind of start re-engaging the new type of thinking? What do you think?
Mhm. Yeah, the book is designed to help people understand that, as you just described, when you start getting at the top of the mountain, we call that the fragile risk zone.
Ooh,
Maybe within 5 to 7 years of coming off your paycheck, that we want you to have a process that can bring that confidence and clarity that you can get down safely. The goal is not to get to the top and stop, it's to get down safely. And the fact of the matter is, the mindsets have to change. When I sit down with a client, I'm saying, you've been in
yeah.
accumulation, and you're riding the wave of the market. But going down the mountain, the mindsets have to change,
Ah,
the strategies have to change, and the solutions that you never used going up the mountain are completely different. And unfortunately, most advisors who just manage portfolios, which we do too, they are not trained or experts in distribution income planning.
yeah. And let's couple that with what I'm seeing. You're probably seeing it too, but longevity. I've heard this a lot. Like you almost need the wealth and health conversation together,
Mhm.
because when you do sit down with the right type of financial planner, they're not going to say, "Hey, when are you going to die?" But that is part of the equation. Like, are a plan at 65 versus 95 is very different. Would you agree?
When I started 33 years ago, we didn't run a plan past age 80.
Really?
And in 1935, when Social Security came in, life expectancy was 65. So our parents' generation was wondering if they'd even live long enough to enjoy those golden years. Now,
Wow.
studies show people are worried about living longer than their money and
Mm,
outliving their assets. And number two, they are wondering how to navigate this. And in fact, the problem is there is all these tax traps. That's why the book is called Secure Future Advisor, Escape the Fatal Tax Traps, Create a Sustainable Income that has to last for decades,
yeah.
and keep that money growing with inflation. That is not an easy task. And all the things you did up the mountain, the IRS has all these tax traps between Social Security, Medicare, required minimum distributions that are designed to separate you from your money. And if you don't work with the right person, you could pay tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of unnecessary taxes.
Wow. I hear what you're saying, and personally, I've made changes. I mean, even this week, we have a great CPA, and I do want to ask you those questions. Who works with you on the team? But my CPA said, look, one of your companies, it should not be this entity. It should be this entity, because if it's
Mm-hmm.
this entity and you do this action in 5 years, your tax bill will be very low compared to this strategy. I mean, these are the types of things where you think, most of the public thinks, it's not worth a conversation. But I'm looking on your website. People can book a conversation with you. Like, why would they not? Why would they not literally have a conversation with you where you could end up saving them, 10, 20 years of
Yep.
financial, security. So I love this kingdom perspective. I mean, you just have so many good things here. But what if somebody is interested in sitting with, not only getting the book, but like sitting with your team?
Well, our whole mission is to provide education, and
Mm,
we believe proper education coupled with sound financial stewardship principles will bring more confidence and clarity to your future. And number one, it is impossible, whether you're a do-it-yourselfer, have an advisor, both, to do proper retirement planning without tax planning. And
mm,
tax planning is missing. Most CPAs and accountants don't do proactive tax planning. So, what we want to do is offer a free strategy session. And
wow.
you can go to the website or do our QR code. And we want to give you at least 60 minutes of our time to get acquainted, hear your story, and see what could we do to solidify what you have in place. Not to replace, but to solidify, because there's nothing worse than hearing, oh, I wish I knew this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to fund my health savings account. Oh, I didn't know if I did charitable giving that I could do that with a qualified charitable distribution. There's a lot of tax tools in this in the toolbox that you didn't need in your 20s till your 60s, but from 60, 70, 80, 90, it's a whole nother planning process. And we want to offer that strategy session.
Oh, that's so good. I'm on your website here. Where on the website would I? Because I saw it a second ago. It was almost even like a calendar.
Yeah, there's even a calendar link. I should probably, I
Oh,
don't
you're
run
fine.
my
No,
website.
listen, I'm gonna find it. I want to find it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
but
in
you have
there.
all these great things here, and
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I definitely saw the contact, and
yeah.
it looks like your team is dang. There's a lot of you.
Well, we're blessed with 100 people at our parent company in Akron, Ohio, that is lives by the golden rule.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of CFAs, portfolio managers. That's what we call our ADL timeline. You're either in accumulation, then distribution, and then legacy.
Mm.
And we've got to take care of you in the distribution. But then there are people that want to leave a legacy to charities, kids, and grandkids.
Yep.
So integrating estate planning, tax planning, investments, income, Social Security, Medicare, all these different things intersect at the top of the mountain when you go down. You didn't have those in your early years.
That's right. This is fantastic. So I love what you got here. You're looking at the whole person, the whole situation, the secure future advisor. Our team spends a lot of time chatting with you about even the subtitle. And by the way, there's that amazing family you got here. Look at
Yeah,
that.
that's an older picture when I was a little bit, had a little more, less gray hair.
Oh, you're good.
My
At least,
beautiful wife. Yeah, that was a while back. They're all a lot larger, but
yeah, that's all
God,
good. That's all
God
good.
bless us with a wonderful family.
Wow. And I love the subtitle, Escape Fatal Tax
Mhm.
Traps. I'll tell you what, man, that's no joke. Um, you can easily get a tax bill for tens of thousands of dollars unexpected. And you're navigating. It's I almost see you saying as a guide, like, hey, there's something up ahead in the road. Let's plan for that instead of just falling into it. Is that how you see yourself?
That's exactly what happens. And you may have done a great job getting up the mountain without help, but
Mm,
going down the mountain, even if you're a do-it-yourself or have an advisor, it's probably worth engaging us for a get acquainted free strategy session, because here's a couple concepts. The tax code is set up to reduce your taxes, but people don't know how to do that. Whether you're a small business owner with an entity or a professional or a retiree, pre-retiree.
that's right.
And the key thing is we can improve people's investment returns a couple percent a year by reducing their taxes, not being sharper on the investment side. And from a stewardship
Yeah.
standpoint, the way we look at it, every dollar we can put in your pocket, you can choose to spend it. You can have return on memories with your kids or grandkids, or if you want to give it away, that's your choice. And we
I've
want,
never heard that before. Return on memories. That is
yeah,
hot.
yeah, we
That is
want you
good.
to do all of that.
I've never heard that before. I get it because everyone's like ROI, return on investment, but return on memories.
Mm-hmm.
That's your book too, man.
That's probably,
That's pretty good.
well, it took me a little longer on this one, but I think that Kerry and his team can get me going a little
Oh,
fast.
no. Listen. But I would say, here's a question. Let's say somebody's watching this replay from Alabama. Are you able to serve them, or do you point them in some direction, or should they just get the book? And like, what are the thoughts if they're out of state?
Thank you for that question.
Yeah.
So today we probably work with clients and retirees in 20 different states.
Wow.
People move, they retire, they go with their kids, they come back. And obviously, I'm in the Dayton area. A lot of our clients are
Sure.
Dayton, Cincinnati, Columbus. I call that my mini Chicago without the
Yeah,
traffic problems. Okay.
that's
But
right.
no, we can help anybody. We have clients in Alabama, Arizona, Florida, California, Oregon. We can help people
Wow.
all over.
Yeah, we're popping in that link right now. Folks, securefutureadvisor.com. I love the concept. I love the tagline. You also have this big faith element, which I do too. Talk to us even on your website. I mean, that's pretty bold to put right on your website. A kingdom perspective.
Mhm.
That's pretty bold, man. But I think it makes sense. I think I think I'm seeing a big resurgence, for people with faith. They're like, it's not all wealth and numbers and money. It's bigger than this. There's an eternity in mind. But talk to us a little bit about this concept.
Well, in our financial service business, the term that we talk about that is very important is, are you working with a fiduciary? A fiduciary is simply to do what's in your best interest.
Yep.
Now, that fiduciary responsibility is important, but if you have a stewardship mentality, then you're even going to be a little higher up on the fiduciary standard, because it is about stewardship.
Wow.
And, it's very clear. My mission verse is Proverbs 16:9. The mind of man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps.
That's right.
Proverbs 13:11 says, he who gathers money little by little makes it grow. So a
Mm,
kingdom perspective is something that we want to bring. And whether someone has a faith or not, that is going to they're going to be comfortable that we really have their best interest at heart.
that's cool. I love that. Anytime I can work with somebody who's going to be a truth teller and we share the same core values, I mean, that solves a lot of issues right there. So this is great, Mark. You did fantastic. What did I not ask you that you'd like people to know?
Well, I think this has been wonderful. I mean, again, we want to be a coach. Most professional athletes, they're good at what they do, but they got a coach.
Absolutely.
I mean, the NBA and the NHL are doing playoffs now. I don't know. They all have coaches.
That's the truth.
So we look at our role more of a personal coach in financial services. And the last thing I want to mention is today, there is just too much noise in the marketplace. I call it the 24/7 noise. And there's no shortage of opinions.
Yep.
But every solution has advantages and disadvantages. So we want to spend time with you to help you understand better what you have and what you don't have, and narrow it down to options that would make sense in your particular situation, because it is not one size fits all.
I love that. Why would you not go with Mark? I'm just saying, everybody, like I mean, I'm serious. Like, it makes so much sense. And the securefutureadvisor.com, I love the metaphor. It's not what's going up the mountain, that process where you're going to experience the most traps, the most risk. It's going down the mountain. You need to secure, you need to escape the tax traps. I mean, it's like common sense, man. So thank you, Mark, for being here. Our team really enjoyed working with you, and we're seeing you grow. You're a man of faith. You're a family guy. You got the wealth strategies, and I just think you're doing some great stuff.
Well, thank you so much for allowing me to share today. God bless you and your team.
Awesome. Thanks. Get the book, folks, and you'll see that wealth and holistic wealth grow. Take care.
Thank you.